Hi, you're here with Everything Waterfalls, and we're actually only the display garden for the Garden Homes ETC. And one of the things that I believe is in showing people different ideas and giving you guys as many ideas as I can to give you things that you can bring to your yard. And this all started last year. My wife, and you can see over here, this is our existing deck, and she says, Dave, you pretty much filled up our deck with waterfalls and bubbling rocks. There's no place for us to sit. So I says, you know what, maybe we can put an addition onto our deck. And we went back and forth on how big we wanted. And of course she wanted a bigger deck and I wanted a smaller one. And actually she wanted to come from the corner, from the top corner there, come all the way across and hit the corner of the walkway over here. And I said, that's too big. It's going to cost too much money. Let me come up with something a little different. So I came up with this idea of a waterfall, a true waterfall, man cave, gazebo, grotto type deck. So I put it, so as I came through, I kept on adding more things. This was a January project when the snow was falling, and it says, you know what, we're going to keep going with this. So I thought of this idea of putting this top on. Sort of enough to put on one of our big grotto rocks, sort of like a gazebo where it would fall down. And the other thing that I wanted to do is bring in a see-through window. This is 1 1/4 inch acrylic type plastic where I can stand on, and I can also look down there and you can see the pond below. So what I'm doing is I'm bringing my decks together, fabricating decks, designing and creating to go around my water garden. And then I went across here and I brought together a platform, or a platform of different types of like a shelving unit to put some of our cascading waterfalls, just to have it falling from, and it starts about 5 feet down and it goes all the way up to about 10 feet. Then when I was looking, I says, God, I don't want to be stuck up here the whole time. I want to be able to walk down and see everything else. So I cut through our deck, came down with 3 steps, and just put a small platform, a deck. I call it a waterfall lookout. It's only 8 by 8, enough to put a couple rocking chairs. And you can see as we come down through here, then you get to see the whole gamut of universal rocks on what they can do. We got the pond, we got a bubbling rock, we also have a cooler, we have all the different types of cascading rocks. And way up on the top we finally end with the big grotto. But as you come down, we also have different things like what we did is to make it a man cave and also to cover up the back wall of the garage in the house, we put in like a room, a cedar room where we can keep the leaves and stuff from blowing in. It makes it a lot nicer looking at the wood background. And also from there's going to be a lot of splash over from the waterfall, and because that grotto, that's coming down about 15 feet. There's going to be some splashing. So I said, the only way to really do that correct is to make a small little beach. And the beach here is just a little bit of sand where we put a rock bench to sit in. So when you look back here, you get the idea. We got the deck above. You can see the see-through window. You got the cave as far as the room with the boards. Then up here, we just put that in. That's our new deck to see the different waterfalls. And of course with the pond, we had a lot of dirt. So I figured, you know what, this rock bird bath I had for about 1.5 years. I had different uses for it, but it just didn't kind of drive home as being the 1-2 punch for a centerpiece. So finally we brought the bricks in. We have the rocks bird bath with a couple bubbling rocks. We also have a cypress stump along with one of our large water or artificial logs. So Hope this gives you a heck of a lot of ideas of forming a deck or decks around to fit a water garden. Also, something that might come, and I don't know if I'm going to do it, but you can see the whole array of what we did here with the different decks. We might be taking out this small steps here, moving it over to the right, come here with steps going up, go into sort of like a platform about 10 feet up, and then put another deck sort of over here, because I want to see, I mean, this, make no mistake, this is one heck of a waterfall, and I want to be able to see it from all angles. So what we might have to do is put another deck out in front, have it where we can walk up to it over here, walk around, and then come over to this corner of this one where we put these wind chimes. And when the wind chimes are playing, that means it's a little bit too windy, so I usually shut the grotto off. But I'll come here, probably open this up so we can walk all the way around the waterfall garden.